And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Up first, we've got a wind and weather advisory out here for the eastern Beaufort Sea coast for east winds gusting to 50 miles per hour, reducing visibilities down to less than a half mile at times, and that and blowing snow. And we've got a wind and weather advisory here for the eastern North Gulf Coast for several inches of snow possible in that area. Yellow shaded area, that's a winter storm watch. And that's for the Haynesboro, the greater Haynesboro there, as you can see. And that's for possibly several inches of snow there falling as well. Onto satellite imagery, you can see system down here to the south and banding of the moisture, but quite a bit of it here flowing right up into the Copper River Basin and to the lesser extent over the southeast coast and coming up into the southeast interior areas. Up here to the north, clouds moving from east to west there along the north slope and especially the Arctic coastal areas. Kind of a breakout here over the Bering Sea and the Aleutians. Big area of clouds with the next front pushing in from the west there, starting to bring some thickening cirrus into the Shimia area. And on the forecast for tonight, that front continues to roll eastward here, bringing gale force winds, rain and snow into the western Aleutians. Not quite making it to Adak though tonight, but tomorrow a different story. Good high pressure here over the central and eastern Bering Sea, keeping it dry with light winds there from Atka Island into the Fox Islands and northward there right into the Chukchi Sea, and dry over the northern and western part of the state. This system here spreads a band of moisture. Likely snow will come across south central Alaska into the western Alaska range, push up toward the central Alaska range there. Heavier moisture back down here to the south in advance of the front. So periods of rain, Kodiak Island, snow changing to rain tonight for the island there. And snow or mixed rain and snow for the North Gulf Coast, increasing east to southeast winds. And some moisture there for the northern panhandle, but scattering out to just a few showers down to the south. For tomorrow, that front kind of just pushes off to the east there and weakens, still left with a trough up here along the Alaska range. Along that trough, areas of light snow that could get down into Cook Inlet. That first band there over into the Kuskokwim Valley, all the way up to the lower Yukon there, and dry to the north. Gusty northeast winds through the passes of the western Alaska range. Also pretty windy conditions for northeast winds on the western Arctic coast. And increasing chances of rain and wind tomorrow afternoon as this system starts to push in, but staying well west of the Queen Charlotte Islands. Out to the west, that front pushes eastward here across the central Aleutians with rain and snow pushing in toward Nikolsky, but very windy, wet conditions here all the way out to Shimei and Attu. Dry over the eastern Bering Sea, Fox Islands, western Alaska Peninsula, northern Bering Sea looking pretty good there with some clearing for St. Lawrence Island, up over the north slope in the Arctic coast. And moving to Wednesday, elongated front here, a couple of lows along the Aleutians into the Alaska Peninsula there. So continued areas of rain and snow from the Alaska Peninsula all the way out to Shimei and Attu. And to the north of that, colder temperatures, northeast winds there, but staying dry over the northern central Bering Sea. And this trough here produces an area of snow there over the northwest interior, and that's about it. So again, snow chances here along the Alaska range, mixed precipitation south central Alaska, mostly rain or rain and snow here for the North Gulf Coast. Into the Panhandle as that front lifts northward, wet conditions all the way down in toward Dixon Entrance. And now for the Thursday outlook. Low pressure into the Gulf of Alaska here. Keeps it wet over Kodiak Island. Some of that moisture will keep it on the damp side for the North Gulf Coast, Kenai Peninsula area, Prince William Sound. Less of a threat of some rain or snow shower activity for western Cook Inlet. But to the west here, very dry conditions. Covering the Bering Sea, cool northeast flow here coming down all the way down to the central Aleutians there. And increasing wind and rain over the southern panhandle, but dry up to the north. Lynn Canal Glacier Bay looking really good, Juneau. But as you head south, Petersburg, Wrangell, Sitka, southward there, that's where you'll see the better chance for precipitation as you head down toward Dixon Entrance. Otherwise, pretty good all the way out to the Arctic coast and all the Bering Sea and the Aleutians. Next system just barely getting onto the chart there. And for the lows tonight, below zero, north and west of the Alaska range, otherwise east and south of the mountains, teens and 20s. 20s for the Aleutians, lower 30s for the, lower 30s for the Aleutians, 20s for the Alaska Peninsula, and mid-30s Kodiak Island, upper 20s and lower to mid-30s for the Panhandle. Highs tomorrow near 40 in the north and 40 to 45 down toward the south. Into the mid-30s Copper River Basin, south central Alaska, lower 40s Kodiak, and coldest up here to the north, as usual here, north of the Alaska Range, anywhere from 5 to 20 degrees. And those single numbers, highs around 10, extend all the way down to the southwest coast. North Slope, Arctic Coast, Brooks Range below 0, and upper 20s for the Pribilofs, and upper 30s, lower 40s for the Aleutians. And the lows for Wednesday morning, about 20 below there, or 15 to 25 below, Brooks Range out to the Arctic Coast, 10 to 15 below right down to St. Lawrence Island, and anywhere from 0 to 10 below for the southwest interior, near 0 for Nunivak Island. Add 20 degrees to that for the Pribilofs, and then the lower 30s for the Aleutians, cooling into the 20s along the Alaska Peninsula, and looks like 20s and lower 30s for south central Alaska, and mostly in the 30s for the southeast coast. Highs upper 30 or mid 30s there around Haines and Skagway, otherwise in the 40s, and upper 30s now to near 40 south central Alaska. A little cooler out here to the west, or quite a bit cooler actually, down around 10 for the highs, 30 for the Pribilofs, near 40 for the Aleutians, and a little warmer up here to the north, 5 to 10 for the Brooks Range, and still below 0 though from the Bering Strait, St. Lawrence Island, up along the Arctic coast and the North Slope.